Hello, and welcome to your Cozy Kitchen Guide, where we're diving into baking a homemade Yule log cake entirely from scratch in this warm, holiday-inspired space filled with soft lighting and festive touches. This beloved festive treat, also known as BûCHE de Noël, features a light and airy sponge cake that's carefully rolled around a creamy filling and then frosted to resemble a rustic log straight from the winter forest. It's designed perfectly for beginners. We'll proceed at a relaxed pace, taking our time with every single detail to ensure you feel confident and successful throughout the process. Begin by gathering these key ingredients for the sponge: 4 large eggs, which you'll separate into whites and yolks, 100 grams of castor sugar for sweetness and structure, 100 grams of self-raising flour to help the cake rise beautifully, and 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder for that deep, rich chocolate flavor. For the luscious filling, prepare 200 milliliters of double cream, which whips up nicely, 2 tablespoons of icing sugar to sweeten it just right, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract for a subtle aromatic note that complements the chocolate perfectly. For the chocolate buttercream frosting, you'll need 175 grams of softened butter as the base, 350 grams of icing sugar for smoothness and sweetness, 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk to achieve the perfect spreadable consistency. Finally, for decoration, have some icing sugar on hand to dust like fresh snowfall, along with a selection of fresh berries such as raspberries and cranberries to add vibrant color and a forest-inspired touch. You'll also need these essential tools: an electric whisk for efficient beating, mixing bowls in various sizes, a fine mesh sieve for sifting, a 33 by 23 centimeter Swiss roll tin or similar baking tray lined with parchment paper, and a flexible spatula for gentle spreading and folding. Start by preheating your oven to 200 degrees Celsius to ensure even baking from the beginning. Then, using the electric whisk, beat the egg whites until they reach stiff peaks, holding their shape firmly like soft mountain tops. Next, gradually add the castor sugar, a little at a time while continuing to whisk, until the mixture turns thick, glossy, and holds its shape beautifully under the warm kitchen lights. Now, beat any egg yolks one by one until fully incorporated for a uniform batter. Sift in the flour and cocoa powder together, then gently fold them in with the spatula, using careful motions to preserve all that precious air in the mixture. Pour and spread the batter evenly across the prepared tray with the spatula for uniform thickness. Bake for 10 to 12 minutes, checking that it's springy to the touch when lightly pressed, indicating it's perfectly done. Once baked, immediately turn the sponge out onto a sheet of parchment paper dusted generously with sugar to prevent sticking. Gently peel off the tray's liner parchment, then roll the warm sponge from the short end, keeping the sugared parchment inside, and set it aside on a wire rack to cool completely. While the sponge cools, whip the double cream together with the icing sugar and vanilla extract using the electric whisk until it forms soft, velvety peaks that are perfect for spreading without being too stiff. Carefully unroll the cooled sponge, spread the whipped cream filling evenly over it while leaving a small border around the edges to prevent spilling, then re-roll it tightly from the same short end, this time without the parchment for a neat log shape. To make the buttercream, start by beating the softened butter until creamy and pale. Sift in the icing sugar and cocoa powder gradually to avoid lumps, then add milk a tablespoon at a time until you get a smooth, pipeable, or spreadable frosting. Generously spread the chocolate buttercream all over the rolled log, then use a fork to gently drag lines across the surface, creating realistic bark texture. Finish by dusting with icing sugar for a snowy effect and artfully placing fresh berries on top to evoke a charming forest scene. Place your finished Yule log cake in the refrigerator to chill thoroughly until serving time, allowing the flavors to develop and the frosting to set firmly. Your impressive homemade Yule log is now ready to enjoy. Slice it carefully with a sharp knife to reveal the tender sponge layers and creamy filling inside, perfect for sharing this holiday classic with family and friends. Happy baking, and may your holidays be filled with the warmth and joy of homemade treats like this delightful Yule log cake.